Now, let's take it more locally now to Muslim communities living in the West. What should be what should be the attitude of a non-Muslim when they hear about Muslims in the community or Muslims coming to the community? The first thing, they should be very happy that the Muslims are coming. But is that the reality? Let's be honest. Is that the reality? No. And you answer this because you know Denmark. I know America. In America, if Muslims are moving into a neighborhood, oh, there goes the neighborhood. Property value might go down. There is one masjid in a very rich, affluent neighborhood. And every Jum'ah, it's like a tornado hits that neighborhood. It's very, these clean neighborhoods, white people only, you know what I'm talking about. Everything roses outside in front of doors and mash'ar. Jum'ah comes. In that masjid, they make dinner, lunch after Friday prayer. So every Friday, it looks like a hurricane hit the neighborhood. Chicken bones, paper cups and plates all in the streets. And it's embarrassing, right? And it hurts to say these kinds of things. Now, there are some exceptions. For example, and maybe this was the old days, but just so we not keep it all negative, I'll tell you something positive. In the ghettos, when the masjid comes, the people become happy. In the ghettos, the dangerous neighborhoods. When the masjid is being built, everyone's happy. You know why? Because when the Muslims come in, the drug dealers go out, the liquor stores are sold out, and then it becomes more safe in the neighborhood. So actually, non-Muslims become happy. But this is such an exceptional case. But in general, people should be happy. Why? Because the khair that comes out of the Muslim community, it just goes, radiates, and it touches and affects everybody. That's how we should be. That's how we should be. Yani, for example, there was, this was many years ago, a masjid that was being built in America. And the locals said, we don't want a mosque here in the middle of the place. We don't want it. It's going to cause traffic and parking and all kinds of issues. So they took it to the city council and everyone brought their arguments forward. So an uncle, Muslim uncle, got up and he's giving his argument why we should build a masjid. He said, we have a right to build a masjid here. We have been part of this community for the last 20 years. So this old lady stood up. And she wasn't trying to be mean or anything, but she was being genuine. She stood up, she said, you guys have been here for 20 years? She said, I've been feeding the poor. We've been doing soup kitchen every single week for the last 25 years. I've never once seen a Muslim helping. Understand? And is this how the Muslims are? And actually for this is now recently changing in America, and I don't know the situation in Denmark, where for the longest time, any khair that came out of the Muslim community went right back into the community. So when we gather money for the poor, we give it to the poor from the Muslim community. We help people with rent from the Muslim community. We give people food from the Muslim community. And so the non-Muslim community never feels the khair that comes out of the masjid, but they feel the khair that comes out of the church. They have English classes in the church for immigrants. We should have that, right? We have most of the immigrants. But they go to the church and learn English there, and they go to the church and they get things there. So they didn't feel the khair coming out of the masajid. Even though, as the scholar said, this is one of the reasons why Allah preferred our ummah. قال الله عز وجل in the Quran, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس. You were the best nation brought forth to الناس. And you know the difference between in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا is clear, it's speaking to the believers. But الناس, who is it speaking to? Everybody. An-nas is everybody. An-nas is Muslims and non-Muslims. So we're the best ummah brought forth for people. Then Allah tells us why in the same verse, تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ إِلَى آخِرِ الْآيَةِ. You enjoin what is good and you forbid what is evil. So that means then, as an individual, as a community, as a center, as a masjid, the khair that comes out of me should permeate and touch everybody. Muslims, non-Muslims, everybody feels the khair that comes out of us. This is how we should be. Now I know we have some, without mentioning names, but I know of some international speakers that travel Europe and everything, and they tell people, look, it's their country, and if they want to sell liquor, let them sell liquor. If they want to do drugs, it's halal for them. If they want to eat pork, it's halal for them. If they want to do this, it's halal for them. First of all, it's not halal for them. Where in the Bible it says you can snort 5 lines of cocaine? Where? It's not halal for them. And what kind of a message are you telling me? So my children are born and raised here. And I want them to grow up and be righteous Muslims here. And you're telling me if there's a meth lab in the neighborhood, طبعا this is all American stuff. You probably guys think, what's meth lab? This is regular American stuff, okay? Meth lab, you know, or whatever, crack or cocaine. You watch movies, cocaine, all this stuff. So if there's a crack house, if there's all this stuff, I should be okay with it. I should say, wallah, it's halal for them if they want to do that. It's all right. So I should be okay with my child when he comes back from gets off the school bus, someone offers him drugs, and I shouldn't interfere. I shouldn't try to get the liquor store out of any prostitution, all these things. I shouldn't fight all these vices, all these things. It's completely insane to say something like that, which is very conflicting. The same speaker will tell people, you are from Denmark, you are not Egyptian, you are from Denmark. And then at the same time, don't interfere in the issues of Denmark. But which one am I? Tell me exactly. So the khair comes out of us and it reaches everyone, Muslim and non-Muslim, and we enjoin good and forbid evil for everyone around us. For everyone around us. It's not about, it's haram in Islam, you can't do it. And you can drink, just don't drink in my neighborhood, or I'll try to get the liquor store shut down if I can. And by that we mean by legal means. We're not going to break the window at night. Yeah? By legal means. So it's my job, I'll tell you something. Which is, when Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, when he died, his funeral was a great thing, and even schools shut down, businesses, markets shut down, everyone came out for the funeral. But what is amazing about the day of his death is that a Christian man came, like a priest or something like that, and he was crying in tears because Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah passed away. Now, we all know that Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he wrote volumes refuting Christianity, destroyed them. True? So this guy should be happy. But he came and he's crying, he's in tears. And they said, why are you crying? You should be happy that he died. And technically you could consider him your enemy. He said, I'm not crying because the man died. I'm crying because all the good he used to do, no one will do it anymore. Wallahi, that's amazing. That's how the Muslim is. That's the example of how a believer is in the community. That when you die, someone says, he used to do all this good, and now who's going to do it? But it's Allah al-afiyah, and I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal that when we die, it's not like as if nothing happened. What's our impact with our community? Even if it's just like local people, not even the non-Muslim community. And some people, Allah al-afiyah, they die and it's like nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing will change whatsoever. But that's the attitude. The believer, so much good comes out of him or her, and it reaches everybody, not just staying within the community, but it reaches everybody else in the community, Muslims and non-Muslims. And so that's why the idea of giving back and the impact we have on society, it's a great thing and it's a great responsibility.